And we're live. Hello, it's Bill, the knee pain guru. Welcome to the body reflex hacking video podcast. We're going to have the subject we're going to talk today is about aerobic exercise for people with knee pain. We have a special guest. Let me bring him into the broadcast right now. We have Dr. Gianmichael Salvato. Welcome.
It's great to be here.
And let me formally introduce you. Dr. Salvato is a retired naturopathic practitioner, a research scientist, author, and holistic wellness expert with a passion for helping people eat healthy and live more vibrant and pain-free lifestyles. Dr. Salvato has founded the website mentalwellnessmovement.org, which is among the most respected natural health and mental wellness websites in the world today. So welcome, Dr. Salvato.
Hey, it's great to be here.
And I've already introduced what we're going to talk about today, which is aerobic exercise for people with knee pain. And there's a lot of people suffer with knee pain. Whoop, we lost him. He'll come back. We'll be patient.
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
Are you? Let's see what we have here.
I'm here, Bill.
Let's see if he's back.
I am. I'm here.
I think we're back now.
Yeah, you didn't lose me.
Okay.
Might have lost just on your side, but it's being recorded.
Okay. It's doing a little swirly thing. So yeah. Okay, great. Okay, we're going to talk about aerobic exercise for people with knee pain. And where would you like to start in terms of like just the topic in general? And I have some questions I want to ask you.
Sure. Well, when we talk about aerobic exercise for people with knee pain, a lot of people who suffer from knee pain, who suffer from other joint pain, maybe hip pain, may not be actually exercising properly. And why that's such an important factor or consideration is that, if you're not exercising, you're more likely to be increasing the pain that you have in your knee. Maintaining an active lifestyle, maintaining a healthy lifestyle is important, especially as we age. But just because you suffer from joint pain, even if it's something severe like arthritis, doesn't mean that you should skip out on exercising. Because there are options that are out there that can help strengthen the joints, can build muscle, which then in turn helps to alleviate some of that stress on those joints and protect weak knees and hips and ankles and other joints. So I really love talking about this topic to folks who think that just because they're in pain now, that means they're never going to be able to get back to the gym. And when we're now in this point when we're on lockdown in a lot of places, from the pandemic, a lot of folks are not able to get to the gym and do the exercises that they otherwise thought that they could do. And so we just want to talk about some options that you've got.
Okay. Well, first question, is cardio possible for people who suffer from knee pain?
Absolutely. And it's just a matter of learning to reduce the impact that you might have. There certainly are some exercises you would want to avoid, like running. Even jogging on a treadmill could be difficult on those joints, particularly the knee. But if you instead take a slow pace walk, a good low impact cardio workout can make it so that you can get on that treadmill again, or you can go ahead and walk again. You might not ever be able to run again, but you can, by reducing the impact and building up the strength, you can definitely begin to get a really good cardio workout without running, without jogging, without the things that really stress the knee.
Hmm. I have a question because I mean,
Sure.
I am very well steeped in this niche, working with people with knee pain. And what I find, a lot of the clients that I work with, they're in a catch-22. They have pain, and if they do any sort of exercise, it puts them in more pain. So it makes them want to exercise less. So
Right.
it's a little bit of a catch-22. What is your suggestion, or what is your approach in terms of addressing?
Sure. Do you want me to talk about some of the different exercises they could do that would not make them increase that pain?
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, the first thing I would say right off the bat when you were describing that would be to recommend swimming or swimming pool exercises, because swimming is really one of the best forms of exercise for people with knee pain or other joint pain. Swimming provides a workout that's low impact. It's versatile. It burns calories fast. I mean, if you freestyle swim, as long as you're making sure you're not hyperextending that knee if you're kicking, you burn about 100 calories for every 10 minutes. That's more calories than most people burn jogging.
Sure.
So that would be one of the probably the best and easiest ones. And a lot of times I find if you recommend to somebody, hey, this is one of the things you can do, especially if they have a pool now while they're on shelter in place, getting in the pool and just getting moving isn't just good exercise. It's not just good cardio, but it can actually become a great stress reliever as well. And they can start to find that, wow, I really enjoy this. I wonder if there's any other exercises that I can do that reduces the stress on my body. You just want to, like I said, you want to make sure that if you're doing water aerobics or jogging in place and even doing resistance training using water weights, you want to make sure that you're not hyperextending that knee. So if you're having a great time out there and you're freestyle swimming, when you kick, try to do that gently. Try and make sure you're not, because then you're going to end up getting out of the pool and a half an hour later. Now you've got more hyperextension that's been going on. You're going to have more inflammation and more pain in the knee.
Mm-hmm. There's actually two pieces that pop into my head in and around the concept of swimming. One is, you were talking about resistance training, just even walking in the pool. It's going to make your body a little bit more buoyant. So it's not going to be so much, it's going to be resistance walking, and it's going to be more gentle on the joints. That was one from the swimming piece. And then the other was, I don't know if you've ever seen the you hold these two like cylinders between your legs. They're kind of tied together with a rope.
Yeah.
So it supports your legs. So your legs are just holding, and you can do the aerobic activity with your upper body.
Sure.
So
that's a fantastic idea. It's also a great idea. I know that this is supposed to be you asking me questions, but I think since you've been so helpful to me, with neck pain and back pain, one of the things that I noticed is some of the strategies that you've shared with me work really well in a pool, because the body, as you were saying, you've got that added buoyancy, less resistance. You're able to kind of be a little bit, at least for me, a little bit more in that moment, in touch with what's going on in your body, because you're not worrying about balancing and not falling, and you're not worrying about slipping in the shower if that's where you're doing this, and you're in the pool. You can actually go ahead and do some of the movement strategies that we'll probably talk about a little bit later. And not have to worry about, well, if I fall, I'm going to hurt myself. So it just makes it a little bit easier to do some of those strategies.
Totally.
So another exercise I'd recommend for somebody who has knee pain for aerobic exercise would be the elliptical machine. You can burn just as many calories as you would on the treadmill. You can burn just as many calories as you would with a high impact workout on the elliptical. And by having your feet in those in those stirrups on the pedals all the time, you have less of a chance of hyperextending and less of a chance of actually damaging or increasing inflammation in the joint. So I would say elliptical machines, low resistance circuit training, another great way to burn calories without putting stress on your joint is on a rowing machine. You're not using your knees to do any of the real work there, but you can really get a good cardio workout going on a rowing machine.
And to build on the rowing machine piece, you can adjust the seat position of the rowing machine. So if you're concerned about extending the leg too far, you can adjust the seat to the point before you extend the leg where it would hurt.
Just as you would do, by adjusting where you sit when you're in a boat really rowing. You're not going to want to extend your leg all the way. You're going to want to be in a strong position where you're actually using your core, and by doing that, you're not only getting that good cardio workout, but you'll be strengthening your core properly as well. Same thing with Pilates. You could if somebody's got a total gym or a Pilates machine at home, just by amping up a little bit of the intensity of that movement, getting your cardiovascular system going, you're getting that cardio workout without hyperextension, without any high impact on the knee.
Yeah, I have a funny story about a Pilates workout shortly after my knee surgery. So this was June of '99 is when I had my knee surgery. So this would have been sometime in the fall, like maybe June, July, August, September, somewhere around in that time frame of my life. This was shortly after the knee surgery, and I was looking for some sort of physical activity, just like you were saying. And I went into a Pilates class, had no idea. This was not even like resistance, anything. This was just body weight. There was this 100-pound and nothing tiny female Pilates instructor that kicked my butt, like unbelievable. I was like pouring sweat and all that. And just raising your leg in these oblique angles and working different things. And it was definitely a workout.
Yeah.
So,
people think, oh, Pilates, that's for girls. I'll tell you, actually, the more muscle you've got on your body, the more intense that workout's going to be, because the chances are pretty good you haven't stretched those muscles as much as you built bulk or packed on the strength. So yeah, I tell guys all the time, don't knock it as a girl's a woman's way of exercising till you've gotten in there. And I guarantee they come out and they're like, man, she kicked my ass. That was just really intense.
Definitely. I had that experience. And of course, this was just a few months before. It was judo, martial arts, full on.
You bet.
This, and I was like, well, wait a minute. There's a disconnect here. This is what happened. So, okay. Was the Pilates total gym, was that number 3?
Yeah, that I lost track. I think that was number 4.
4. Okay. We had swimming, we had elliptical machine, rowing machine, Pilates total gym.
Yeah, low resistance circuit training.
Okay.
And the swimming pool, elliptical, low resistance circuit training, and Pilates, or stretching machines.
Got it. Yeah, those are excellent suggestions.
I mean, there are other things too, like we said, when you think about the swimming pool, you could do weight training in the swimming pool. You could do, playing, if you have kids, just playing Marco Polo or one of those things, just so that you're getting your body moving, you're oxygenating the body and getting your heart rate up. And, there's, a million ways you could do it. Get a beautiful woman or beautiful man in the swimming pool and chase them for a half an hour. You're going to get the same impact.
There is that. There is that. And really what I hear you saying is about the cardio, meaning increasing the heart rate.
Right. Exactly.
However you're going to do that.
Yep, and that's going to go ahead and oxygenate the body. That's going to go ahead and get circulation going, and you're going to get all the same benefits that you would get from high impact. And then I just tell people that, as then, if you do this correctly and you start to strengthen the muscles around the knee or the muscles around whatever joint it is you're having pain in, first of all, it becomes more enjoyable, because as we exercise, we release those feel good hormones in the body, and we start to say, hey, this was really not that bad. I think I'm going to do this some more. That increases, results in doing it more, increasing more strength. But then when you've moved beyond the period of acute pain in the knee, I really encourage people to consider continuing that type of exercise, because that low impact is always going to be better, and it's going to prevent the possibility of one day having another slip and hyperextending or twisting your knee, or running on a hard surface and doing it just a little too much and not realizing until you've done more damage. So this way it keeps us in a state of homeostasis, a state of balance, where we're getting our exercise, we're enjoying ourselves, and we're doing it in a way that does less damage to the body.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Is there anything you would suggest that we could do to help with chronic knee pain?
Yeah, I mean, over and above the exercise, when we're talking about chronic knee pain or joint pain in any way, shape, or form, we're talking about inflammation. And inflammation is a signal to us as healthcare professionals that there's an imbalance. Usually, when somebody's got pain in a joint, we can always trace that back to imbalances in their amino acid levels, imbalances in their body's hormones, especially cortisol, which serves a really good purpose. But as we reach the age of 35, 40, a lot of times our cortisol levels remain high. Cortisol is that fight or flight hormone that tells us when we're in danger, we need to get out of there. But as we get older, the cortisol levels, because of our stressors on a daily basis, and pain is a significant stressor, stays really high. And when the cortisol levels are high, inflammation increases. And that's one of the reasons why, when we see people and they say, nothing I do is getting rid of this inflammation, I just can't do it. The pain is crazy. And I'm not, the first thing we need to do is we need to start looking at the full body. We need to start looking at ways that they can use functional foods, for example, like we do in my practice, to help them get their amino acids in balance, get the cortisol levels down, improve endurance and stamina. And then that's one piece of the puzzle. Then we need to find a way to plug that person into somebody like yourself, who understands the body's reflex system, the pain reflex system, who understands how a person can really kind of tap in to moving in a different way to restore that balance, to help find the key where the body just, where it unlocks, where it releases. And I think, again, I have a habit, having been in broadcast and blogging and podcasting for so long, it's really hard for me to be in this seat. But I'm used to asking the questions. So,
sure.
I think, even though this is your show, I think it would be awesome to tie into what I just said. When that person comes in and we talk to them about, exercising with low impact exercise and getting on a functional food program to reduce to increase serotonin levels and decrease cortisol levels, eliminate inflammation. Why don't you kind of share with people what that piece would be? Because the next person I would say is, now you need to talk to Bill Paravano, because he can take you to that next level of releasing that pain and helping to release that pain for good. Tell them what they would find out when they talk to you, if you don't mind me jumping in and asking the questions of you.
Sure. Well, I'm looking at it from the other end of the spectrum. So I do believe the diet plays a huge role in reducing the cortisol level, inflammation, both in the joint as well as systemically in the body. And it's important to exercise. What I'm coming at it from the other end of the angle, or the other end of the spectrum, where you have a neurological impingement in the joint. Something has been, something is being squeezed. Nerves are being squeezed in a way that sends a signal to the brain, that sends the cascade through the body to turn on the cortisol, to say, hey, go into that fight or flight state and be in that state until it's okay not to be anymore. Yeah. And a lot of times the mental state of a person is in such a place that they're still thinking, I got to push through the pain. No pain, no gain. Pain is weakness leaving the body. And what ends up happening is they do the exercise not being present to where they're at mentally. So they throw themselves into that cortisol loop that you're talking about, which escalates it and further ingrains the neurological response that's going on in the knee.
So it's never going to stop because you're in a cycle now that just perpetuates.
There's a mental space, and now you got the emotional component, which is like, I'm worked up. I'm going to lose muscle mass. I'm not going to keep up. I'm not going to be as strong. I'm not going to be as fast. I'm not going to be whatever. I'm going to gain weight. Whatever the agenda is going on in the mental and emotional state, it's reinforcing this physical thing that's going on. That is feeding into that cortisol loop that you're talking about. And the place where I come from is, how can we create comfort in the knee by getting the pressure off of the nerve to change the neurological signaling? So we can create comfort and we can get the knee relief, so you can get it pool and the rowing, doing the rowing machine and doing all of those other things. But if you're going into it with the same mental and emotional state of needing to push the body, then you're going to go right back into that old pattern that you're trying to get out of.
Right. So, or even possibly make it worse.
Right. Exactly. And this, of course, just to take a step back, where I come in is that someone has already gone to a doctor and they've gotten a diagnosis and they know nothing is broken or torn in the knee. That's really important, because if something, you have a torn meniscus, you have torn cartilage, you have a torn ligament or tendon, muscle, you have a broken bone or something, kneecap has been fractured, some sort of mechanical dysfunction in the joint is a different animal than just solely pain. It's apples and oranges and needs to be separated and made a huge distinction in terms of what we're talking about.
Yeah, and it's about, what do we do next in a case like that? Then the clinician needs to address the torn meniscus or whatever the emergent damage is. But again, I can tell you, as somebody with spinal stenosis and somebody who's got deteriorating spinal facets, that the relief I got from working with you would not have been possible from medical intervention alone, because it was, again, the part of getting the body and the mind back into a balance where you create that space of comfort and can learn to move and restore, bring that balance back to where it needs to be. And it's funny, because now when I talk about that, somebody pointed out the other day that I'm close with, that when I talk about that now, the work that you do, I move my neck and my spine while I'm telling them. And I'm like, you know what? I'm doing exactly what I do in the shower. It's just a space that it's a habit that my mind has gotten into. And as a result, my mind then informs the body, and the natural reflex, hence the name of your show, is, okay, so this is what we have to do to get back into that space. So I just wanted to give you props, because we could talk about exercise all day long and the value of low impact exercise. But if that person doesn't make that next step by actually the precursor step, by creating the space that exercise can be done in a healthy manner, then they could be making the situation worse, or they could just be at a standstill. We don't want anyone to be stagnated That's not the purpose of telling them to go increase their cardiovascular or their aerobic exercise. We want them to reach a point where they feel better each time. Right. And so I think the work that you do is really important in that way.
Cool. Well, thank you.
Well, thanks for having me on.
We have a few people that are watching right now. And if you do have a question, please enter those in the comments section. This is streamed on both YouTube as well as Facebook. So if you do have a question for Dr. Salvato, please type that in. And I'd also like to share with everyone, if you'd like more information, get more involved, get more support as far as help with chronic pain, we have right below here the CamellaFoundation.org. Dr. Salvato and I are both involved with the foundation in helping people, and there's a lot of really cool stuff coming up. So we're getting this out there and sharing this more with people, help more people with that are suffering with chronic pain. So let me check over here on the comments. We don't have any comments coming in, which is okay. I'll put the Camella Foundation, that is us. Okay, there's a Camella Foundation.
And if you guys have any questions and you're watching this on the replay, Bill will give me a heads up, or I'll see it in real time, and I'll be happy to answer those questions as well. Speaking of the replay, if I put on my producer's hat there and board member's hat, okay, we certainly will appreciate it if you guys will like and subscribe and share this so that the work that Bill's doing reaches folks who need it the most.
Yes, thumbs up, like and subscribe to the Camella Foundation YouTube channel, as well as share it with those who are suffering with pain. Okay, Dr. Salvato, thank you so much for being interviewed today.
It was a pleasure being here.
Appreciate that. And we'll wrap it up.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, bye-bye.
Take care.
Yeah.